All right. Welcome back. This is episode 12 of the You Should Fact Check This podcast. We're back. I'm pretty much gonna recap some stuff that I've already talked about a little bit because there's been some more interest and more changes in it. But I don't have a bold take today, and we'll see. Let's see if Peter has this. Peter, do you have a bold take?
Oranges are the hardest fruits to eat.
So this
navel
podcast,
oranges, to be specific.
So this podcast is going straight into the dirt.
Why? They're honestly so hard.
Your bold take was about an orange being hard to eat.
Dude, name a harder fruit to eat, and then I'll accept your request to
a pineapple.
I don't know, man. I just sprayed myself with orange juice.
That makes it hard to eat?
Well, because
I bet if you're out in nature, that's kind of refreshing.
Then you get all sticky.
Yeah.
So, with an orange, right? You have to peel it.
Yep.
And it only is easy after that if you get a good peel, right? If you don't get an easy peel to start anyway, you're digging in, stabbing with your finger.
This is the worst. This is the worst thing that we've ever started with.
I'm just saying.
Far and away.
And then once you get the actual peel off, then you have to get your finger in the middle and like split it without spraying yourself. See, that's what I did. I sprayed myself.
Yeah, but a pineapple has a hard outer shell.
Yeah, but you're not opening it with your hand. So it's easy.
What?
You're not.
If we're going to bring machinery into this, I'm sure that there's a machine that can mess up an orange real quick.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is it worth it, though?
Is it worth it to get a machine to open a pineapple?
Not a machine, a knife.
Why can't you use a knife on your orange?
Who uses a knife on their orange?
I don't know. People probably.
Well, because when you open it with a knife, you still have to take the peel off.
Yeah, but you could probably peel it with a knife if you practiced.
And cut your finger off? That doesn't sound good.
Well, you for sure would cut your finger off. But
yeah, that's why my bold take of the day is oranges are the hardest damn fruit to eat because you can't just eat them. You can't. It's just too hard.
This is a terrible bold take. This is the worst bold take that You Should Fact Check This should.
Do you have a bold take? Do you have a bold take?
I don't have a bold take today.
Well, maybe you shouldn't make fun of others' bold takes if you don't have a bold take. You understand me?
Well, you came up with that bold take. You came up with a different bold take. I know this is what happened. You came up with a different bold take while I was doing my intro, and then you panicked and you decided to go with the bold take of the orange.
That's because oranges are so damn hard to eat. And I got frustrated because I sprayed myself.
Yeah.
Maybe this orange just sucks.
Yeah, that does look like a terrible orange. When you see all of the rind on the orange, it's not a good orange.
That's what I'm saying. They're hard. All right, now it brings us to our sponsor, Slate Chocolate Milk.
Oh, my God.
Drink Slate Chocolate Milk. 20 grams of protein, 100 calories.
Why?
Zero added sugars.
Doing?
Zero added sugar. That's Slate Chocolate Milk, man. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm bringing all the pizzazz to the show today, guys. Thank you for listening. Got the orange hot take. You got our sponsor. Now we're moving to Devon. Devon, are you ready with your segment?
With my segment. Because you're done. That's all you've got for today? Peter's done his part for today is come up with the worst bold take of all time.
I'll come up with another one.
No,
just
I don't want
your
you.
Thing.
Okay. I don't want you to come up with another one because it'll be bad again.
I have the best bold takes on the show.
So a couple of weeks ago, we talked about famine. That was my bold take, was that we would have a global famine in late 2022, early 2023. I think it was 2 weeks ago. but I've done a little bit more research and listened to a few more things on it. And it's really interesting because China is looking like they're going to get set up to like end up saving a lot of these countries that are going to get hit the hardest by famine. So in terms of like for the US, we run on a stockpile, like a stockpile of calories of like 30%, right? Somewhere between 30 and 40% of our yearly calories is stockpiled. So if we were to run out of food, we would have 30 to 40% of a year's worth of food for our country. Most countries run somewhere between like 10 and 20% stockpile.
So we're crushing it.
And then like lower end countries run on nearly no stockpile at all. However, China over the past year has built up a stockpile that's about a year and a half's worth of their calories for their country.
Good for them.
And yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because with all of this happening with the fertilizer not being made as well as food not being planted, China is being set up to be the go-to for all of these countries that are going to get hit hard by famine, because they're going to be the only country that can actually do anything about it. And China has kind of had a non-intervention strategy in terms of global politics for quite some time, but they're starting to change that a little bit. They're starting to help out countries that they see strategic partnerships with, and this is just going to aid in that even more. So countries like India and then a lot of countries in Africa are going to get hit really hard by the global famine. And when that happens, there's only going to be one country that's really going to be able to provide food because they have the logistics as well as the stockpile, and that's going to be China. But with this, it's not going to come cheap. And that doesn't mean like monetarily, but China is going to do this very strategically. And it's just going to continue the changing of guard, essentially, of who the greatest power in the world is. Currently, we're in a transition between the U.S. and China. The U.S. is on the decline, China is on the rise, and this right now looks like it's going to be another big transition moment because China is going to be able to swoop in and have a lot of strategic partnerships. Like India could be a huge one because India is is the largest democracy. And if China decides that, or if India decides they need help from China, that could change things in India. Not for sure, but it could. But it's it's something that I didn't know about, and I think that it's something that is not talked about whatsoever.
The fact that China's taking over.
Yeah, and the fact that like China is our legitimate enemy. Like if we want to talk about people that we should be, or countries that we should be strategically working against, it's China.
But we just keep pumping stuff there.
Yeah. Well, and like we rely so much on their consumption for one. They dictate our movies because they have such a huge market that they pretty much have the say in all of our movies. Whether like you won't see anything that is really against China. And then you'll see like, who was it? Who's the guy? I forgot his name. Oh, John Cena. John Cena in like the most recent Fast and Furious after came out and said something against China. I can't remember exactly what he said, but the next day he was speaking Mandarin on Instagram and apologizing to the Chinese people and to the government of China.
Do you think he knew Mandarin before he said something bad?
I have no idea. but that is insane. That is insane. And he just like, that's how influential China is if they decide that they don't want your movie within their market, it's billions of dollars a hit to your movie.
Right.
So they have to pander to the Chinese government, which is absurd. And so you won't ever see big names like The Rock, you know, any of
That's
those.
the biggest actor you came up with was The Rock?
What are you talking about? He is the biggest actor. Physically.
Okay. Actually, Thor is, but
yeah, that's true. But they have such an influence, and it's not even on that as well. It's like sports, like the NBA.
yeah.
Here's a topic for you, Peter. The NBA is so controlled by China because of viewership and stuff like that. That NBA players who have come out and said things about China have been like suspended from their teams, have been really like chastised because of things that they've said about China.
Yeah, well, we had that whole like global as an American movement to help support China. What, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago? Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, and continuing on the China thing, China is in like a complete lockdown, or Shanghai is on a complete lockdown right now, which we talked about last week. And this is leading to like a bunch of people in China stockpiling food.
Smart.
However, it's pretty interesting because they're deciding to prioritize like this Chinese medicine that's not even, it's just like herbs and stuff. It's Chinese traditional medicine.
Are they calling it a vaccine?
Pretty much. So they're shipping it.
Everyone's going to take it.
They're shipping it to everybody, but they're putting it in priority over their food supply.
Sounds like
so
the
this
United States.
This is causing a food shortage in places like Shanghai that are on lockdown, which is causing more panic. And there are people saying like, why are we shipping these things that have not been proven to fight COVID when what we really need is food?
Kind of like the vaccine.
Yeah. Except for it didn't disrupt like our ability to get food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, supply chain shortage.
Well, yeah, but there was so many reasons for that other than just the vaccine.
What were the reasons?
Well, the ports, for one, like people weren't working.
Why weren't they working?
Well, so at the ports in like California, they couldn't pay people enough to be out there working. And then we have these weird labor laws where you can only work a certain number of hours out there, which was making it so that you couldn't clock in overtime. So the few people that were actually working weren't able to go overtime.
Why is it just now that started, though?
It isn't just now. That's been going on since last year.
No, yeah, I know the supply chain shortage, but why just now? Like, why just in the last year?
That's because of COVID, but not because of the vaccine.
How is it because of COVID?
Because if you had COVID, you weren't allowed to go to work. And then also a lot of people quit their jobs when COVID happened because we shut everything down.
I was going to say, because if you are required to be vaccinated to work there, then
and there's also, we also just have really stupid laws. I mean, maybe not necessarily stupid, but there's laws like you can't stack a certain number of containers on top of each other.
Yeah, top heavy, fall over.
Right,
obviously.
But it made it so that if we took containers off, we would have to sit them on the back of the trucks, and then the trucks weren't allowed to unload them. So we had no trucks to transport more goods. It was a whole logistical nightmare, but there's laws and stuff that are just making it so that we can't quickly and efficiently make changes when things need to be changed. But that's the extent of what I know in terms of the supply chain problems.
Gotcha. I don't know anything, so.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on it, but
I don't know anything about anything. All I know, Slate, chocolate milk.
oh, stop it, Peter. Stop.
Our one sponsor.
All right, what's going on in sports today, Peter?
Just cracking a cold one.
Honestly, the worst.
Me?
Yeah,
Why?
you just are. I
right.
don't really know how else to say it, but you
I
just are.
I won't do my sports segment then.
No, you have to do your sports segment, Peter.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't think I will. Okay, I'll do it. NBA playoffs started this week/weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, they started. Luka Doncic is out he was out for the first 2 games for the Mavs series. Mavs are playing the Jazz. And he was out for the first 2 games. He's like a big star player. He was top 3 in it, top 4 in MVP voting. Huh?
Do they play 5 games right away? Is that how that works?
7-game series from the get-go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How many teams are in the playoffs?
8 on each side, so 16.
So each side they play 7 games for each game or for each
round
meeting?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
Why do they do it that way?
Money.
That makes a lot
Strictly
of
because of
sense.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More sponsorships, more
Yeah.
advertising.
Anyway, so the Jazz, it was a big story because the Jazz actually lost the second game. So the series is tied 1-1. But Luka Doncic, Mavs' best player, one of the best players in the NBA, wasn't playing. So now it just sounds like once he comes back, the Jazz are just going to get torched. The Nuggets suck. Warriors are great.
Are the Warriors ever going to be bad when they have the people that they have right now?
No. I mean,
because they've got
the only thing that gets
right now?
them, I mean, Steph, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, this up-and-coming guy called Jordan Poole. He's been balling. But, yeah, I mean, the only thing that'll stop them is injuries.
Right.
But the favorite, the team Phoenix Suns, have only lost 18 games all year. And they lost game 2 last night, so their series is tied 1-1. That's a big story.
Devin Booker's on that team, right?
Devin Booker, yeah.
Is he good?
He's a very good basketball player, yeah.
Okay.
He's also dating Kendall Jenner, so that could be a relationship topic that we could talk about. Arsenal is beating Chelsea right now, which is really making me mad.
Oh, that's amazing. Arsenal's terrible too, huh?
No, they're in the top 4 race.
Are they really? Arsenal?
Yeah. It's the 4th spot right now is between Arsenal, Tottenham, and Manchester United.
Wasn't it last year that they were like?
No, it was earlier this year when they were like 16th. Yeah. It was like at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
Made quite a comeback, huh?
Yeah. And Chelsea's in 3rd. So this is great. This is awesome.
What place is Arsenal in right now? 5th?
I'll look. I think, 5th. I think.
I mean, Man City.
If the result holds, then Arsenal would be in 5th, tied with Tottenham for 4th. Chelsea would be in 3rd, and Man City and Liverpool are just running away with it. So,
yeah.
But Man City's tied right now, half 0-0, which would be massive. Brighton.
Son of a bitch.
Which would be massive because Liverpool just won. So if Man City ties, then Liverpool takes the lead.
God damn it. I hate Liverpool. I have no reason to hate them, but I hate them.
If Man City drops a game, Liverpool wins. The whole thing.
Yeah.
100%. It's all in Man City's hands. I think so, yeah.
Doesn't Man City have hard games, though?
I mean, Liverpool does.
I mean, that's what I meant. Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, they play Tottenham. But, I mean, Man City's struggling with Brighton right now. So,
I mean, Liverpool just beat Man United
Manchester
4-0, right?
yeah. Crazy, man.
All right, what else is going on in sports?
Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, is holding out for a new contract, and he says he will not play unless he gets a new contract, which is just absurd because he's like 25 years old. It's like, dude, you had one good season. Congratulations. So we'll see if they re-sign him, but I doubt they will.
Why does he want a new contract? Because he's not getting paid enough?
His rookie contract's coming to a close, so he wants an extension with a ton of money.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, so when did Tom Brady, when was he able to start dictating what his contracts were?
Well, the thing is with Tom Brady, he was all about winning, so he didn't really care. He took pay cuts forever to win rather than get paid and not win.
Can you ever be like the greatest player without doing something like that?
Taking pay cuts?
I mean, not necessarily taking pay cuts, but like worrying so much about what you're getting paid.
LeBron, I don't think has ever taken a pay cut. He's always
I mean, I don't think like Messi or Ronaldo has either. But
yeah, that's different though because there's no salary caps in soccer.
So there's salary caps in basketball and in football?
Every American sport, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know. I don't know if I like it, but.
Why do they cap it?
So that you can't just sign 8 great guys in LA for millions of dollars and then have.
So it's a salary cap across the whole team?
Yeah, there's a salary cap across the whole league. So each team is allocated a certain salary, and so you can't go above that salary.
Oh, interesting.
For the whole team.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll try and see what it is in basketball.
Well, which way do you think it works better? Because even in like soccer, if there's no salary caps,
the salary cap is $113 million in basketball.
A year.
Yeah.
So, like, is that how you get teams like Man City without salary because they don't have salary caps?
Yeah.
They're just able to buy whoever they want.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they say that it's like so you can't over incentivize. Like the idea is to not kill competition, right?
Right.
But there's still crazy competition in soccer.
Yeah, that's because there's so many good players and they can all. But I mean, is there though? Because if there was a salary cap in the Premier League, okay, you imagine all the Premier League players split equally amongst all the teams, right? So, like, who's the worst team right now? Norwich would have like Kevin De Bruyne, and Man City would have to give up half their team, and Liverpool would have to give up half their team. Chelsea would have to give up half their team. And then those halves would be split equally amongst Norwich, the terrible teams. So then they build up. So then, you know what I'm saying?
But do you think that makes the game more exciting or less exciting?
I think it makes it less exciting.
So if they got rid of salary caps in the U.S., it would make football and basketball more exciting?
I don't think so. I think soccer is different. Yeah.
Why is it different in soccer?
Because you want to see the best players play with each other against the best players playing with each other. In each position. Whereas in basketball...
Why wouldn't you want that?
Because like in basketball, the best players don't necessarily play defense. So like you got LeBron, Steph, and all those guys, they're just going to be running up the score. I don't know. I like seeing defense. I like seeing team basketball. Personal opinion.
Interesting.
Personal opinion.
That is interesting. I don't know why, because at the soccer level... Like teams like Man City, most of the way that they attack is through their defense.
Yeah.
Because they high press like crazy.
Yeah.
And you're getting these guys that you're paying. Like, it seems like in basketball, because at the collegiate level, there's a lot more defense than there is at the professional level. Right?
Yeah.
And it seems like it's because these guys just get complacent. And they're just getting paid a shit ton of money, and they just want to, like, have fun and score.
I mean, that, but also they play 82 games a year.
How many soccer games are played a year?
I mean, probably a lot more, but at least 38 in the Premier League alone.
Right.
So if you add in other competitions and stuff. But they don't play every game in soccer.
Like the players?
Yeah, and it's a much longer season. Like, you play one time a week in soccer, maybe twice a week. Whereas
teams like Man City are playing twice a week consistently.
Yeah, but in basketball, you're playing 3-4 nights a week, and some nights you're playing back to back. And
right.
So, I don't know.
That's interesting, though. I wonder what it would look like if there was more incentive to actually play defense. I don't know how you would incentivize that, but
right.
If there were more incentive to play defense and there was no salary cap.
Well, I mean, that's why the NBA playoffs are so fun, is because if you don't have a good defense, then you're bad and you will lose. So
once you get to the playoffs, that's when everyone actually starts trying.
Yeah, it's super fun to watch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't watch sports.
You should.
It's not that entertaining to me. It's not even that it's not that entertaining, but it almost feels like a waste of time.
How is that? I think you're a waste of time. So explain to me how sports are a waste of time.
I mean, if you've got more important things to do, then I agree that I'm a waste of time. I just think that I have an overwhelming like thought process constantly that I should be doing something else. Like if I sleep in, or if I'm just relaxing, or I'm watching something else, I constantly am thinking that I should be doing something else.
So what are you thinking about that you should be doing right now?
Well, no, I actually enjoy this, and I think it is bettering me for the future. So I don't think that I should be doing anything else.
Oh, gotcha.
I think that this podcast right here is probably the worst one that we've recorded. But that's okay. Yeah, I do.
Why?
I think that
you didn't like my sports segment?
No, actually, I think your sports segment was the best sports segment you've had so far.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I think that what I brought to the table was lackluster, and
it was pretty lackluster for sure.
Okay, well that's. Come on, Peter, pat my ego a little bit.
Well, I just think that when I have a good thing going, you probably shouldn't tear it down like you did this podcast. Like whenever you have a good thing going, right? Like you got a good business segment, you're really growing. I am there just,
How did I tear down your sports segment?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, when you have a good business segment, I'm there like, yeah, like, you know what? Let's just put my sports segment on the side because yours is so good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Whereas, like, yeah, I had a good sports segment's over, and then we come back to you, and you're like, yeah, nice. You just gotta have like some. You gotta prepare, Devon. You gotta prepare for the podcast. You gotta prepare for these podcasts, man. All it takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes beforehand.
Let me tell you how many goddamn articles I looked through today to find something interesting.
What's the stock market doing? Come on, what's the stock market doing?
Honestly, the stock market is one of my least favorite things to talk about because it doesn't matter day to day.
Okay, well,
there's so little that matters day to day. Here's something actually.
I'm losing money, so what's new, right?
Peter, what is new?
I mean, fuck, man.
That's all we've talked about.
ARK is doing terrible.
Yeah, I think that they have Netflix in their ETF, which is something that I was going to talk about. Netflix actually just recorded they lost their number of subscribers went down for the first time ever, and they're projecting that it's going to continue to go down.
Nice. Yeah, I've lost $45 in ARK.
Out of how much did you put into ARK?
4 shares at $67.
Jeez. So they're down.
So they're down to
$10 a share.
Yeah, they're down to $56 per share.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll go back up, right? It'll go back up, right?
The main thing with the stock market,
Devon,
and with investing, is you don't look at it day to day.
It'll go back up though, right?
I don't know for sure. I'm anticipating that it will, but the main thing that I don't pay attention to my portfolio on the day to day.
Apple's been boogers too.
Well, we just came out of the biggest bull market in history. Like the past 6 years, plus the pandemic had things were surging because the government was just flooding the market with
Tesla's struggling as well.
It's not about today, right?
It's all about today.
You want to invest in companies that you see having a strong future. Like 10
Slate,
years from now.
chocolate milk.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do with chocolate milk. I totally agree.
Yeah, I know.
I love that you just completely disregard the actual point of the conversation.
What, stock market?
Yeah, you brought up the stock market, and I brought you some topics, and then you just talked about Slate.
I mean, I just have a very obsessive personality, so I just feel like I check it every day, which is really bad. But I see a lot of red. Red's my favorite color.
I do as well, but well, then you're in the right market.
When I get green, I get really excited.
Yeah.
I think it might just be too diversified, honestly, so that some are doing really well and then some are doing really bad, but the bad always outweigh the good. So
that's not true.
With mine, it is.
Right, but what I'm saying, what I was trying to say, is that in a bull market, the good pulls up the bad. So over the past 2 years, since 2019, the markets have been ridiculous. They've been crazy. Since the initial COVID oh shit crash, things have surged like crazy.
I really wish I pumped a ton of money in during that.
For almost no reason.
Crash. Yeah.
There was very little reason behind a lot of these companies surging. And now the markets are kind of just leveling out.
Yeah, it's probably another year that'll just continue to go like this then.
Yeah, I mean,
unless we go into a depression and
Well, I don't anticipate us going into a depression anymore. I was worried about that, but I think that there's a probability of us going into a recession. However, I think it's not necessarily as tiptoey as as I thought it was a couple of weeks ago. I think right now that the Fed can look at this and slow their roll on interest rate hikes and can actually just let this thing play out without it going into a recession.
Do you think they will, or do you think they'll be
I don't know. I mean, we just had, so March had inflation. The CPI was 8.5%. So that's a year over year inflation change. So your money is worth 8.5% less than it was last March.
That's not good.
Yeah, whatever. You can do the math. But that it's going to be weird because it's priced in year over year, or it's looked at year by year. So starting next month is when the inflation really started kicking in last year. Or I guess April. So right now. So this next CPI reading is probably going to look small, but it's not going to feel small because last year's inflation was starting to kick off really high right now. So our inflation, last year, I don't know what it was, but say it was up 4 or 5%, and then this year it's up 3 or 4% again, right? It's only going to say 3 or 4% because it was based off of last year's numbers. But if you go 2 years back, that's up 8 or 9%. So you're feeling it a lot more than you would think when it's only like 3 or 4% in increase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I also saw this Chamath on the All In podcast brought up this thing, and I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it anywhere, but he found this article that talked about how much equity Americans have in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the pandemic, Americans took out something like $500 million of equity from their homes. So we've got millions of Americans that are just sitting on a bank account full of cash because they took all that money out of their home.
Dang.
And so those are the Americans that aren't having to go back to work, and they're still able to spend money. And this is one of the reasons why we have such high job openings. We still have 10 million job openings.
There's so many job openings.
Yeah.
No one wants to work.
Well, it's not that no one wants to work. It's that
no one wants to work. No one our age wants to work.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that no one our age wants to. We're in a very soft generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm not certain that we don't also count in that soft generation.
What's
I think
that?
that me and you are both pretty soft.
What's that? I'm pretty hard, man.
Peter,
Time to wake up this morning. 4:30. Grind.
Okay, Peter, you work at a gym. If you're not waking up at 4:30, then you're not working at a gym. I woke up at 6 this morning. So
Hour and a half late.
Huh?
Hour and a half late.
I wouldn't say
Why are we
that.
soft? Why are we soft?
Well, we've woken up with considerable we've grown up with considerable abundance. Like, you go to the store, there's never been a time really where you can't get exactly what you want.
COVID 2 years ago.
But barely.
The Durango City Market was empty.
For how long?
That's why I came home. 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
That's
You
a
couldn't
month.
get any.
That's a
Yeah.
month, Peter.
Yeah. I wasn't complaining about it. I'm just saying that was a time where that happened.
Right.
Yeah,
But
older generations had that for like months or years. Yeah, I get it.
right.
Yeah.
And we've also grown up in a time where you have ridiculous access to technology. You can gain information from all over the place. You don't have to go out and get these laborious jobs. You can take out ridiculous student loans to go to a college where they peddle their ideology on you and make you look for your place to be, victimized.
Turns out to be a waste of time anyway.
Yeah, it does. But
Don't go to college.
depending.
No, don't do it.
Thank you, Peter. But I don't know. I just think that.
I mean, I'm just saying. There's a bunch of people our age that are like, that won't be getting a job because it doesn't pay over $30 an hour.
Yeah,
Their very first job.
There is a deserve it mentality currently.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I deserve it even though I've never worked for it. And
Like, I made $600 this pay period, and I was jacked.
And they think that working for it means going to college.
Right.
When in actuality, like, that was my biggest problem while I was at college, was looking around and seeing all of these people who had no idea what they wanted to do with their life.
Right.
They were just spending their money or their parents' money on going to college, and then they were partying and not really focused on their schoolwork or what they were going to do in the future.
Yeah.
And then they get out of college just hoping to get a job in their field that pays really well.
Right.
It's like, what are you talking about? You had 4 years of college where you could have really been applying yourself, doing research, trying to find different ways of, And there are people out there doing that, but the majority of people that are going to college are just fucking messing around.
Partying.
Yeah. So
Like
it's
me and you.
yeah, hardcore partiers.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that we have a soft generation. It's hard to entirely say how because the times have changed so much.
Yeah.
That it's like it's innate. Like it's gonna happen no matter what, that things are gonna get mushier
Right.
in terms of who we are.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I'm pretty hard.
Peter, you're one of the least hard people I know, actually.
Why do you say that?
Because I've multiple times seen you sprint across a room because of a tiny spider
That doesn't.
or a moth.
I don't like dragons and I don't like bugs, but I'm hard.
How are you hard?
Don't know. Just am. That's my bold take of the day.
I mean, most people don't are unwilling to get up at 4:30 to go work. Yes, I totally agree. And especially when they're not getting paid as much as they would wish they were getting paid.
Yeah.
Right. But like you have forward-looking goals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting paid what I want to get paid. I just don't have the hours that I want, which is the problem.
Okay.
So I get paid $40 an hour.
I mean, that's good money.
Yeah, but I only
exactly,
work.
you're soft.
But I have to.
You got to be getting up at 4:30 in the morning for $10 an hour if you want to be hard.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dude.
I actually did. I actually have. I had a month-long internship with this gym before I even got paid. So I got up at 4:30 every morning to get free work, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's the differentiator is like when you're willing to do it for nothing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when we were doing our workouts at 6:30 in the morning, I was getting up at 4:30 to work on stuff I was getting paid nothing. I was just
practicing. Because you're soft. Yeah.
No, dude, because I'm hard as nails.
No, you're not.
Yeah, dude, I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Tell me how you're hard.
How I'm hard? I just told you.
Well, what were you doing at that time?
Well, I was working on a rendering software, learning how to use a rendering software, designing houses, stuff like that.
Are you doing that now?
I'm not, but I'm glad I did it.
Waste of time.
No, it taught me a lot.
Waste of time.
Peter, you are a waste of time. God.
That's what my mom tells me every day.
I am soft, dude. I'm soft.
No, but what I'm saying is that there's so many unemployed people our age that are just waiting for someone to walk by on the street and say, "Hey, I'll pay you $50 an hour to do this."
Yeah. I mean, and it's everywhere. It's in sports. It's in everything. It's like a ton of people that we played soccer with were just like, why am I not playing? And then as soon as training started, they were showing up. As soon as training ended, they were leaving.
Yeah.
And they were constantly asking, why am I not playing? Why am I not playing? It's like, well, it could be that the coach just doesn't like you, but it also could be right. But it also could be that you're not putting in the work that you need to do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think you never had that problem because you always played. You were always very good, but you were always doing extra work.
Mm-hmm.
You're always working much harder than everybody else.
Dude, I was fat 5 years ago.
I wasn't good when I showed up at college, and I worked my ass off. I almost never asked questions.
Yeah.
I was quiet. I just tried to get my work done, and if it paid off, it paid off. If it didn't, it didn't. But I still wouldn't say that we're hard.
I'm hard. Who's hard? Do you know anyone that is hard? That I would know as well.
I mean, I don't know anyone necessarily like personally.
You think Elon Musk is hard?
I mean, undoubtedly. Also, like David Goggins. Cameron Haynes,
Jocko Willink.
Jocko Willink. Like those people are just, but those people are just fantastic at suffering.
Yeah.
Like they like search out suffering.
Sounds
because
terrible.
yeah, they're addicted to it in some weird, messed up, like schizophrenic sort of way where they have to have it.
Right.
But people like Elon, I don't know. I think he's started multiple companies that had less than 10% probability of being successful. He's poured all of his money into these companies. It's never really been about the money. It's about what his principles are and what he wants to accomplish.
Did you see that they made a new Netflix documentary on him?
Netflix documentary on him or on SpaceX?
Or on SpaceX.
Yeah, they made another one.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I haven't watched it. But I think that undoubtedly he's hard. I also think that he's probably gone through some stuff in his childhood that made it like this is what he was going to do.
I thought his childhood was pretty good.
He had a great childhood, except for he got bullied relentlessly. Peter's the next Elon Musk.
No. Just saying. You remember my bold take of the day in like episode 3 or 4?
Yeah. I think a little bit of bullying is good because it
I think
teaches
a lot
you
of bit of bullying is good.
a little bit more about life. Not necessarily that you're going to get bullied, but when shit gets hard.
Makes you hard.
I mean, he got almost beat to death multiple times.
So did I, man.
No, you didn't. Did you actually? Got beat?
With words?
Oh my God. Soft, dude. Mushy. I got beat by words too, but they were soft words. Some kid said, "Get off my land, Whitey," and I freaked out.
Yeah, you had anger issues.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That is incredibly disrespectful.
Why?
To our whole audience.
No one knows what I did.
They do. People watch this on YouTube.
Actually?
Yeah, we had 34 views.
On YouTube?
On YouTube.
It's pretty good.
3 hours of watch time.
Does that mean... Yeah, okay, so they didn't watch the whole thing. Yeah, so they didn't watch at all. Gotcha.
Yeah.
They probably made it to the first controversial comment and turned it right off.
Well, I bet they didn't even make it that far.
They probably got through your damn intro and like, this guy's an idiot.
I would probably agree.
Yeah.
I think the probabilities of our podcast actually being successful is pretty small.
So, yeah, no shit.
But I do think that we could get a good following if we actually start marketing it.
Well, then do it.
It's not that easy, Peter. You know how many other goddamn things I'm juggling right now?
You got to be consistent with your Instagram posts. Like I'm consistent with mine on my Instagram.
How about
page.
I give you the Instagram login and you can also help out?
I got other things going.
Oh, yeah. There you go, Peter.
I have 3 jobs.
So do I.
Yeah, we're hard. Grinding. I'm a soccer coach now.
Yeah, me too.
Just goalkeepers, 1 night a week, 1 hour.
That's so difficult, Peter.
$50 an hour, $50 a week.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I could get you $1,000 a week being a goalkeeper coach in Albuquerque.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I could.
$1,000 a week?
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
I absolutely could get you that.
It's like $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's fucking fantastic.
How many hours?
More money than I'm making right now.
How many hours would I have to work though?
You'd have to work every night.
Ugh. I don't think I like soccer. I don't think I like soccer that much anymore.
That's great, Peter. I love that you're just turning away $1,000 a week because you're like, ugh. That's the essence of soft.
No, that's the essence of hard. I'd rather do something for less money that I
No, it's because you're
enjoy more.
scared, Peter.
How am I scared?
You're scared, dude,
Of what?
of not being good enough.
I am good enough. I'm great. It's not the issue. Fuck.
Well, I love the confidence.
If I decide to do something, it will get done, and it will get done properly, and it will get done well.
So how many keepers are you coaching?
8 tonight.
8? And it's 50 for the whole in total?
It's through the club, though.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. If I wanted to go out on my own, then I'd charge them each $20 a session, and then you make $160 a session.
Right.
Yeah, but
Way
I'm not
more
doing that. Yeah, which I might do in the summer, depending on what my actual work schedule looks like. But
So you're working that, which is that's barely even counts for work because it's 1 hour a week. And then you're working
Market
you're
and the
working
gym.
right under you at the market.
Yep.
And then you're working at the gym.
Yep.
How many hours a week do you work at the gym?
Not enough. 20
20 hours
as of right now. But this week I'm working. I added two
You-
personal trainers. Two personal trainings. So
So you have your own
Extra.
clients now?
yeah, I have 2.
Those you have, including the 2 that you're adding.
No.
So you'll
are the
have
2.
4.
No, I just have 2.
That's
It's
tough.
really hard to get clients.
Especially, well, yeah.
Well, we charge like our goal is to have, so like in the past, personal trainers can't really make a career out of personal training, right? They have to go get a second job or they have to
Right.
supplement their income somehow. So the goal of the gym is to make actual careers out of personal training. So that means you have to pay us correctly and well. So
Right. Yeah, we have that's a gym that I used to go to was like that.
yeah,
It's called Elevate in Albuquerque, and it was expensive as all get out.
yeah.
I was paying
But-
like $400 a month.
For what, personal training?
Yeah.
Oh, I won't tell you what our prices are then.
They're more expensive, I'm sure, but this guy had like 30 clients that were all paying the same, if not more.
Just one guy?
Yeah.
Dang. He's probably rich.
Yeah, there were I mean, I think that the gym took a considerable cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were all doing pretty well,
Yeah.
I think. I was in high school, so I don't really know, but
Right. It's so
amazing.
easy. It's so easy as a personal trainer to look like you're doing well as well. Like
oh yeah.
you buy a nice pair of shoes, you buy a nice pair of sweats, and you get a good shirt, and
And
you
a
look
nice
like
car.
you're doing well. Yeah, and that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do. You could be living in a shack and no one
Yeah.
would know.
Which not my
But-
thing.
It's also so easy to look like you're doing good in any aspect of life.
Yeah.
Just to look like it, because like that's the whole Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Is just being like you can rent a fucking Lambo
Yep.
to just look like you're doing good.
Well, that's what the Instagram thing's for. I've already gotten 2 DMs, personal training DMs on that.
Nice.
So that'll bring me to 4.
Are you gonna do virtual training or only in person?
Only in person right now, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Interesting.
But by the end of the year, hopefully I'll have like 7 or 8 clients working 25, 30 hours a week. 30 hours a week. 18, 20 of those personal trainings at $40 an hour. So that's about $2,000 every pay period, which is $2,000 every other week. So that's about $4,000 a month. 48 grand for a nice starting job. Not too bad.
That's pretty good. Taxes are a bitch. What are your taxes like in Montana?
Dude, I just paid $200 in taxes on Sunday night. Because I did
For
Instacart.
what?
Because I did Instacart over the summer. and I had to pay 10% of my earnings on that, and I made $1,300. So I had to pay.
So was that
$200
for state or federal?
Federal.
What are your taxes like on your check? Like do you know what the state taxes are?
I can pull it up real quick. Like how much they withhold.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have sales tax.
That's
so whatever.
The taxing system is so fucked up. I hate it. The taxing system in America is so backwards.
I do think that rich people should probably pay a little bit more.
Yeah. I think that the best way to tax the rich is to have a flat sales tax. Because currently,
let's see.
Currently, we tax productivity, which is honestly absurd.
So my gross pay for this last pay period was $790, and I only got $640 of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the taxes are just that's
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I make like 55 a year right now.
$55?
55,000 a year. I'm technically running a business.
But you have to pay like 20 grand, 30 grand in taxes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I end up making like 42 a year.
Yeah.
So the taxing structure is really confusing, and I think it's broken because we're taxing productivity, which is absurd. Like the more you work, the more you pay in taxes, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Like if we want to tax rich people and you think rich people are just going around spending their money, then you tax sales, and that's how you'll get a lot of tax, right?
Yeah.
And for people who don't have very much money and are only making a little bit of money and then having to pay a lot of that money to taxes, if you reverse that and you say you don't have to pay income tax, but you were changing the sales tax to whatever, 20%, then that's going to disincentivize them from spending their money, which makes it so that they can actually save up more money to change their life.
Right. Well, the thing is with taxes, though, as well, is that, like, at least in Montana, is that you'll pay your taxes on tax day, and then you'll get a good $300 of refund. Like, that'll be your check, like, from your withholds.
Yeah.
Like, they just withhold way too much as well.
Right. And you can actually change your withholdings. Most businesses, like, put your withholdings super conservative so that you do get paid back and you're not having to pay at the end of the year. Yeah. But in some cases, like, you can change that withholding if you think that they're withholding too much.
Right.
And you'll change it down to a lower status and you'll pay way less every month in taxes, but at the end of the year you may owe.
Yeah. That's what happened to me. There was no withholding and I owed.
Yeah. So, maybe we'll actually figure out the solution to taxes one day on this podcast, but I doubt it'll happen today.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I just gotta figure out how to get more hours, get paid more, man.
Well, let's start marketing this podcast more, and then maybe you can get some more clients that way.
I'll get like $10 an hour for this podcast, so $10 a week. That's pretty good.
It's so easy to make money if you have a good following. Followers are like more important than
friends.
No, Peter. No. But they're like it's incredibly easy to make money once you have a large following. Because there's so many different ways that you can make money.
You just pump shit out.
Yeah. and you can scam them.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is a good thing. I'm just saying it's a thing that you can do.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, that's the end of this podcast because this is terrible. But
There's
thank
a good
you
little
for
middle
listening.
section there.
Huh?
There's a good little middle section there.
Yeah, there was Peter's sports segment was pretty good. I think we got into a little bit of something somewhere in there, maybe, probably not. But if you are still here, you're a saint.
No one's still here.
Yeah, I know. I'm sad.
Just skip to the next one.
Okay. We'll see you in the next podcast.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.